first off, tell you that Hannah, the story is going to be mainly about Hannah, and Hannah means God has favored me. While Hannah goes to the temple and is earnestly and silently praying, Eli, the priest of Tabernacle, sees her distress and thinks she's drunk. She tells him, I have been praying here out of my great anguish and grief. She told him, do not regard your servants as a worthless woman, for all along I have been speaking out of my great anxiety and vexation. Hannah then explains her sadness because she had no child, and Eli says, go in peace, and the God of Israel grant your petition that you have made to him. After that, Hannah feels better. She had received God's promise. The Lord answered Hannah's prayer. She had a son and named him Samuel, whose name means asked of God. When the child was old enough, she kept her promise to the Lord, taking him to Eli and giving him to the Lord to serve in the tabernacle. There, Eli worshipped God with Hannah, and that's when Hannah spoke a beautiful prayer recorded in 1 Samuel 2, 1-10. In Hannah's prayer, God is presented as the one who helps the weak. Hannah represents the weak in the world. The strong often make fun of the weak, but God hears and rescues the Hannahs in the world. How many times does a believer find himself being made fun of or struggling of understanding why he's being persecuted, yet has promised. God works all things together for good to those who love him, are called according to his purpose. He used those things in our lives to develop character things, to make us more like Jesus. Hannah begins her prayer with, my heart exults in the Lord. My strength is exalted in the Lord. Hannah recognizes that her strength came from God and not from herself. She was not proud in her own strength, but rejoiced in God's ability to make her strong. And Hannah's story gives insight into God's heart. Her longing for a child was likely placed in her heart, but God, who understands our human desire for good things. But Hannah's desire for a son would not be quenched. She was mocked by Peninnah and rebuked by Eli, but heard by God. God did not criticize her for her longing. We know that godly contentment is great gain, which is recorded in 1 Timothy 6:6. But that does not mean that our human desires even understand our feelings. He knows that hope deferred makes the heart sick. In Proverbs 13:12 it says, there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. And he invites us to bring our requests to him. It says in Philippians 4:6, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Hannah's story also teaches us that God can use our weaknesses to accomplish great things. Hannah commits her son to the service of the temple/church, and Samuel grew up a great man of God. The final judge and the prophet who anointed the first two kings of Israel. But why was Hannah's story necessary? God is glorified in Hannah's story. Her weakness, her trust in God as she turned to Him, the fervency of her desire, and her faithfulness in bringing Samuel to God as promised, are all evidences of God working in Hannah's life. Every person experiences human needs that are unmet, as well as circumstances that cause grief. Most times we simply do not understand these things. But in life of Hannah, we see that God knows our story beginning to end. That everything has a purpose in the story, that trust in Him is never misplaced. There are several other lessons in the story. Someone who was made fun of, a mother who kept her promise to God and was blessed with a child, and of a parent who gave her child the service of the church. Raised up in the church really and grew in the knowledge of God and grew up to be mighty used of God. We can trust God. His word is true. There's a purpose in everything God does, even if we don't see what it is. And as His child, it will not be used for our good. Okay, so I want to say that, like in Hannah's story, she brings her son to church every day, and then Samuel grows up to be a great man of God. And I thank my parents for bringing me to church every Sunday so I can grow up to be a great man of the Lord. I want to close with Matthew 5:11. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.